to begin by thanking Finland, Luxembourg, Canada, Spain, and others who have engaged with us and supported our work here in New York. But let me begin answering your question with the work that we're doing on Shahmama organization. Our team has documented around 800 cases of gender-based persecution affecting women and girls across different provinces in Afghanistan. And our findings show that violations that women face today are not isolated incidents. They form part of the systematic structure of gender persecution that operates across private, public, and institutional spheres. I will not go into details of this report here, but I would be very happy to discuss our findings after this session if anyone would like to reach out. But one of the most important insights from our documentation is the role of intersectionality. Women in Afghanistan do not experience injustice in the same way. The barriers they face are shaped by intersection of gender with their ethnicity, religion, geography, poverty, social status, sexual orientation, and other factors. For example, women belonging to ethnic and religious minorities, including the Hazara women, face compounded vulnerabilities. Their marginalization is not only gender-based, but also shaped by long histories of ethnic discrimination and sectarian targeting. This means that when violence occurs, the obstacles to justice multiply. Hazara women face barriers not only from state repression, but also from the marginalization of their experiences within broader Afghan political narrative, both inside of Afghanistan and within parts of the diaspora. When Hazara women speak about their intersection of gender persecution and ethnic targeting, their concerns are often dismissed as divisive. But recognizing these realities is not division, it's essential for justice. If intersectionality is ignored, the communities facing the greatest risk will remain invisible within international policy responses, as Khanum Yaftali was talking about, women who were from particular sectors. And independent research reinforces this concern. A legal analysis published by the New Lines Institute concluded that there is a reasonable basis to believe that the targeting of the Hazara population may constitute as acts of genocide under international law. At the same time, a recent report by World Organization Against Torture documents a widespread use of arbitrary detention, intimidation, and ill treatment of women under Taliban morality enforcement practices. Their report also notes that Hazara women face heightened vulnerability within system of repression, where gender discrimination intersects with ethnic and sectarian marginalization, further limiting their ability to seek protection or justice. And taken together, these findings highlight a very troubling reality. Women in Afghanistan are not only experiencing discrimination, they're living under system institutionalized exclusions and persecution. And for women who belong to these communities already facing identity-based targeting, the consequences are even severe. And also it's important to recognize that these barriers to justice are not new. For many Hazara women, the denial to justice today exists within a much longer history of persecution that has never been properly acknowledged or addressed. For example, in the 1890s, during the reign of Abdurrahman Khan, an estimated of 62% of the Hazara population was massacred, and thousands of Hazara women and children were sold as slaves not only in Afghanistan, but in the region as well. The entire communities were displaced from their ancestral lands. Yet, these crimes were never formally recognized, investigated, or addressed through any meaningful justice processes. So the legacy of that violence continues to shape the history, to shape the experiences of women today at present. So, for example, forced displacement of Hazara communities has continued in different forms over decades, including land confiscation, attacks on civilian spaces, and the marginalization of Hazara voices in political structures. And this history matters when we talk about access to justice for Hazara women today, because intersectionality is not only about multiple identities, it's also about multiple layers of histories of injustice. When a Hazara woman seeks justice today, she is not only confronting gender discrimination, she's confronting a system shaped by historical persecution, ethnic marginalization, and political exclusion. And understanding this reality is essential if international response are to be effective, because without acknowledging this intersecting histories of violence and exclusion, policies aimed at protecting women in Afghanistan risks overlooking these who face the greatest barriers to justice. I'll end here.